Good day, free enterprise fans, and welcome here to this second showdown between Soleras and Starman. Starman taking that first win last night. Soleras looking to equalize this afternoon. We're going to have a heck of a race. My name's Invenerable. Here in the booth with me today is Sheep Launcher. Sheep Launcher, how are you doing this fine Saturday?
It's a wonderful Saturday, and it should be a really exciting race. Starman and Soleras just faced off last night. Starman pulled out the win, but game two, anything could happen. Starman looking to advance to the round of 8 with a win today to face ex Pancraz, but Soleras wants to force that all important game 3.
Absolutely. Shoutouts to the back of the booth here. We have Cubs Rule handling the restream and Awaken Smoke doing the tracking today. Show wouldn't be happening without the two of them, so big shoutouts there. And let's get a look at these objectives and starting character. We have Yang for the starter. We need to find a Kane somewhere. Always good to know he's in the seed. And defeat D Lunars. How do you feel about these objectives today, Sheep?
Yeah, Kane should be familiar to our runners. Get Kane was an objective in game 1. They found him right on Hobbs. Hopefully for us, he'll be a little harder to find in this particular seed. D-Lunars could be a problem, depending on where they are. D-Lunars can be very rough in, say, the Rubicante spot on the hook route, especially if there's a magma key. So I don't want to speak for you, but for me, I would like those D-Lunars to be in an obnoxious spot.
Oh, agreed. Of course, there are bits of tech that our racers can take advantage of to get through them. The Lunar Frog's probably the safest one, if not the fastest. Sometimes at lower magic attack spots, you can just swing for the fences and ignore the viruses they throw at you. But the main thing I think that'll make them rude is if it's beyond a boss where our racers have burned their starting kit of Starveils. Money, very much limited on this flag set. People try not to spend too much time shopping because you can't afford all the things you need anyway. So running out of sources of wall right before that fight would be probably the rudest thing they could throw at you.
Very much so. The sell zero flag is on, so you can't sell all the useless things you get in the treasure chest. So money at a premium. Hopefully our runners went to their high school economics class and are learning to pinch their pennies.
Absolutely. And while we're getting set to start off, just a quick reminder, go ahead and give these runners a follow. Both amazing runners of Free Enterprise. And I think we're about to kick it off, but you've got time to click that follow button, chat. Go for it.
Yeah, don't cost nothing.
And with that, our runners are off. Let's see who the partner character is, who that Baigan boss spot is, and try to get eyes on this starter kit as they scroll through it.
Looks like Yang is joined by Rosa, and Leviathan gives us the Legend Sword. Tiara.
Yeah, Tiara's great defense. We got 39,000 gold, not the lowest I've seen, but definitely not the highest. And I think I spotted both a Stardust consumable and some Medusa arrows in that starting kit. So some cheeky options here if we find bosses that don't have the boss bit, and that Stardust will, of course, clean up most of the HP at these early boss spots.
Yes, that's very nice to have in your back pocket. Medusa arrows, of course, will turn enemies that don't have the boss bit into stone. So that's certainly nice if, for example, if there are early Baron guards that we need to take care of. So both Soleras and Starman going off. Yang and Rosa, not a bad opening party.
Yeah, a little lacking on the DPS. Yang really needs levels to get going. Rosa, though, love her. Great source of white magic, pretty good HP pool, and it's not that hard to turn her into a physical powerhouse with just a little bit of luck on your looting.
Yeah, and that Tiara in that opening kit will certainly help her out. One of the best pieces of equipment that she can equip. And there's a samurai bow.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Bows in this game may not have, the greatest of accuracy, but Rosa's aim command, as long as you're not in the middle slot, will set that to 255, set enemy evade to 0. She will get the full benefit of the strength of that bow and the bonus strength it gives her in stats. Just a great find. Any arrows to go with that, and Rosa is doing work.
Yeah, both runners looting out this watery pass. Like you said, Inven, this party is good, especially in the middle and late game, but Yang needs some help early on to get going. So getting some loot, getting a couple of J items that Blizzard might help in the right situation. Definitely that Samurai Bow. Both of our runners slapping that honor.
Yep. And Oscar424, thank you so much for the raid. Just kicked this race off, starting Legend Sword, Yang, and Rosa. Got some pretty good gear for the Rosa out the gate. Yang with an Ice Claw, definitely better than the Charm Claw starts that we see a lot of. And let's see, well, there's Kain already, but a little bit of an annoyance to actually pick him up here, isn't it?
We have to sit through Golbez's comedy routine. Golbez is going to laugh at us. Shadow is going to chomp one of the characters, and then you were talking about those D-Lunars, how we need to conserve some Star Veils for them. Our runners might want to use a Star Veil to reflect back Golbez's strong magic here.
Absolutely. There's only about 1200, 1250-ish HP to have to chew through at this spot, but our characters are all base level right now. I think even this Fire 2 is going to be a threat, not to even mention the Virus and the Lightning 3 he'll throw out. So they'll definitely want to be getting a Star Veil up here ASAP, I think.
And which one would you rather have go down, a base level Kain or a base level Yang here?
I like the Yang being dead more because I don't think he's really that meaningfully useful until like level 18 or so. Whereas the Kain, we'll be able to find a weapon for him somewhere, and he'll be able to contribute to damage, you know, pretty much out the gate.
Although Yang was able to tank that first virus on Soleras' side.
And that's making all the difference. Starman having to reset the fight. I will note that that virus is ticking down, though. Has to get this kill before those HP hit 0.
It's gonna be a race. Oh, and it's not gonna make it.
So Golbez taking the 2-0 against both our runners right out the gate today. If this is foreshadowing for how the rest of the seed is going on, we are going to be in for a treat over these next 2 hours.
Cannot wait. Golbez asking if that is it. No, it's not it. And of course, as both runners trying again.
There is a strategy that was in a race last night. It's very out of the way, and it's very niche, but it could actually help out here a lot. So, of course, if you have certain status elements on your team, this paralysis gas does not take hold. You can force a status element on your team by talking to the dancer in Mysidia, who will turn your team into pigs. So you can theoretically be guaranteed to get 1 Star Veil up in time if you're willing to make that detour.
Soleras got his Kain in the air to avoid that paralysis.
Oh, and the Dark Dragon had queued up, already saying, there are only 2 people here, I'm not hungry. And Soleras just escaping unscathed from the Shadow Dragon.
Very nice. And gets that Star Veil up.
That is not very quality damage from that Kain. I'm guessing he probably has a silver knife equipped?
Yeah, Kain really needs some kind of weapon to be useful, especially at low levels. And with these Neki flag, he doesn't start off with anything great ever, and the silver knife is one of the lesser ones he could get. Starman threw that Golbez and gets an objective.
Yeah, the funny thing here is that both our runners took the initial wipe, and then both of them got through on the rebound with only Kain alive. Slightly different paths to reaching that point. But yeah, still neck and neck. They're both going to feel pretty bad about the wipe, and they probably both think they're a couple minutes behind now, but still, just even Stevens right here leaving the mountain.
Yep, both runners. Soleras may feel a little further behind, not even looting out the back of Hobbs. We'll get down off the mountain first. We'll see where he jets off to.
Yeah, and notably, the loot on West Hobbs did include charm arrows, which are a step up over, well, a few steps up over those darkness arrows for that Rosa, if we're still going to be relying on her for DPS. But what I guarantee both to see is a proper weapon for that Kayn.
Yeah, even something like a Blizzard Spear would be very helpful. Right now, nothing except that Silver Knife.
And of course, as is expected, Damsian does have a lot of 0 GP chests, but we do get Dragoon Gauntlets out of there to give really good elemental defense on Kayn, a Grimoire, and a Blizzard to possibly help out with some overworld fights, and a Fire Claw to add one more element to Yang's repertoire.
Soleras found a Drain Sword, which is meme adjacent, if not meme itself.
Yeah, Drain Sword you can actually get some good mileage out of as a weapon. Drain Spear, definitely just fling those and call it a day. But Drain Sword, you can do a little bit of work with it.
Soleras will dive deep into the Antlion Cave, and will face all 4 elements down here. And so this spot is low enough that it's possible that the elements will not go through all 4 of their phases.
Yeah, and with Yang... Oh, go ahead.
It would hurt a little bit because this Kayn and this Yang kind of need levels, and this deprives them of a little bit of experience.
Yeah. Note that Yang with that Ice Claw doing nearly 900 damage, as long as there's an elemental weakness to hit, he's still alright at low levels, but you gotta have that weakness. Magma Key for the reward, though, means this team can probably come online in a hurry. If those underground shops are selling coffins or hourglasses, yellow dragon eggs are on the table.
Starman found a bunch of poison arrows in the save room, which is another option for that Rosa.
Soleras taking no time, going right for Aggart, going to be throwing that key down the well, getting access to multiple gated shops, a couple of free key item checks. Perfectly reasonable. Gonna be curious to see how each of our runners route the overworld once they come back.
Yeah, will be interesting. A common routing choice is to check in on Yang in the bed down in the Sylph Cave, and then do Fabul, because after taking all the damage from those damage tiles, Fabul is a free heal in and out. So that's a common one, but we'll see what our runners decide to do.
Starman also taking down this Elements fight, or at least the first half of it, no problem. Kayn a little better equipped here, doing the bulk of the damage. Rosa cleaning up a little bit. And there's a Magma Key for Starman.
Question in chat, can these characters kill an egg if you don't find coffins? Probably not at these levels, Inven.
Well, with an hourglass and a few Kayn jumps, I think they still can. I believe. Rosa with the Samurai Bow and Charm Arrows can do okay damage. But hey, we got your coffins. Boom, Dwarf Castle, ready to facilitate your grind.
And when the shop is only selling one thing, it's nice that it's coffins. And there's a Thunderclaw. Always nice to see.
Well, at least one boss we won't need it for, though. Odin is currently having a spa day in the Waterfall Cave, so one fewer Thunder vulnerable enemy that you really want those for.
Yeah, it's nice to have Odin out of the way, but I hope he enjoys his shower.
And with those coffins, of course, so we've not seen Sirens for sale yet, so there's still some question about how many of them. Did you see if we started with 1 or 2 on this Freedom Kit?
I thought I saw 1, but I could be wrong about that.
Yeah, so a little bit of the dilemma is, do I spend it now, or do I save it for later, or do we just find them for sale here? Never mind. No need to even worry about it. You can have as many levels as you can afford right here, right now. And honestly, I like going ahead and getting Rosa at least up to Berserk and Blink on this underground jaunt.
Seriously, an early grind never a bad idea because it always the time you invest always seems to make up for itself in making boss checks easier. So we'll see if our runners want to get her up to Berserk, which will really help these two physical fighters get online as well. Starman dropped his key in the well and now heading down into the Fey March.
Yeah,
Looks
going
like it's
directly
gonna
there.
Looks like he's going to do a little looting on the way down.
Yeah, both our runners find that monster's chest super early, so they know they can full loot the rest of the cave with impunity. But Soleras, I think, has a pretty big advantage here. Those shops having the keys to the castle for all the grinding that you need. If Starman's not willing to go peek those towns right now, Soleras is going to very quickly accelerate the scene.
Yeah, Soleras definitely a little bit ahead in the knowledge department. We'll see if Starman hits up the shops on the way back, or if Starman wants to hold on to their money for now.
I think the kind of loot that makes me saddest to receive on these S-Cell Zero flags has to be like the crystal gauntlets and the crystal armor. Things that normally are just a big ol' source of cash now are just junk lying around that you don't even necessarily want to put them on your paladin, because sometimes they're frequently better options at hand.
Almost as bad as a whistle, which is just a pile of money, and in Free Enterprise has limited uses.
Yeah.
There's an ice brand Starman found in the Fey March.
Oh, yeah, there was a Blizzard Spear up a floor above, too, in the cave, so definitely have better weaponry options for the Canes now. They're coming online pretty quickly. And I suppose you can use that Luca key plus Starvels to grind as well, if for some reason you don't just want to check for sirens in the other underworld shops. It's a cheeky grind option to be sure, but it's still good XP.
Desperate times call for desperate measures, and there's a Lunar Sparkle. Soleras going to check it out.
And not the dragons we're looking for.
No, a little bit paler.
And a little bit dimmer. So yeah, Peldim at that spot. Peldim's a fairly simple boss to handle if you have the tools to get there. This, level 12 team does not have the tools to get there yet. So definitely be abandoning it. But I don't think Soleras peeked to see if those were the Baron guards or the Kaipo guards. Did he take a peek and then a reset, then a peek and a reset, or just the one?
He did not. He did not see if those were 2 Baron guards or 4 Kaipo officer soldiers. That could make a difference as well. Soleras does have a couple of coffins. But either one of those could be free at some point.
Yeah, the coffins definitely make those fights easier, but without... I did just note that they don't have any good agility anchoring. We have that Drain Sword, which Kane is still very speedy, and the -5 is not quite enough, I think. So I don't think even with the coffins, our runners would get enough turns off to not just die miserably to that fight. So it makes perfect sense to leave it lying until you can actually anchor your way through it.
Soleras going straight to the land of the eggs, and just cracks 1 for now.
Hey, that one is going to get this team rolling in a meaningful way. If Starman doesn't make those checks, be looking for Soleras to clear these overworld fights, the impending ones, far more quickly. The little bit of time spent shopping, I think, is going to pay off in a big way for Soleras in this early game.
Yeah, I think so too. Both runners heading down into the Sylph Cave to check in on that young in the bed. He doesn't give anything now, but with that little pat on the head, you can return to Sheila up in the castle and get a key item.
And here we go. Starman is making the shop checks. Going to find sirens here in Tamra. Seems fairly likely that we'll see a peak in Dwarf Castle as well. Because right now, I don't think this team really has the tools to kill an egg if you don't have a Coffin or an Hourglass.
Yeah, going to go foraging for that as well. Got an Ogre Axe.
And a Samurai Shield. Very good weapon for Kane. But throwing the Medusa arrows away, it breaks my status effect proccing heart.
You hate to see it. And does not check the Job Dwarf either. Starman just killing us up here.
Meanwhile, the fight at the Fabul defense is about as free can be.
Yeah, the King and Queen of Eblan deciding to invade another castle. They only do fire 2, fire 1, and weakly at that before becoming conscious and fading away.
Yeah, and this is one of those situations where just because of how speedy Soleras' team is, I think it's absolutely right to go ahead and kill the king off here so that the queen's next turn will involve her fading away too. No need to wait for them to burn themselves out at this spot.
Yep, gets that king down and will now wait for the queen, who as soon as the king is down will fade away the next turn. And that's that.
Yeah, and Till911 asking in chat, what does Prey do when answered? It's a very wimpy multi-target Cure 1. Very, very unnecessary. It doesn't even work all the time.
Soleras gets the tower key from Fabul, so the underground is opening up wide open for us. Starman gets his egg, gets his Rosa online, and Sheila has the pass.
Very nice.
Not a key item, but certainly very useful. Both runners will be happy to have that. And Starman looks like they're going with Ogre Axe strats. A very divisive weapon in the community, I think. But the best weapon he's got for that Kane right now.
Oh yeah, and again, with the levels from the egg, basically nothing in the overworld is going to slow Soleras down no matter what the loadout. Now, Starman here did speak with that Yang, but has opted to fade Fabul a bit longer. Which, if he gets a pan from one of these checks, will kind of be like, oh, why did I have to walk through Sylph Cave twice? You know, that kind of awkward situation. But at the same time, I guess you can reduce your visits to Fabul to only 1, but it's even better if you can make it go 1 and 1.
That's right, and both runners encountering a Sparkle in the first spot in the Baron Inn. It's just a plague. 400 HP in the spot, both dispatch very quickly, and Bahamut in the second spot.
Yeah, I don't think... Okay.
I was going to say, Bahamut here, very slow. This is the slowest spot in the game, I believe. And all Bahamut does is count down, so that Rosa doing work on Starman's side.
Oh yeah, this fake dragon is not even going to get down to, it looks like, not even to the 3 count before both our runners mop it up.
Well, now we'll never know how to count backwards.
And we do get half of another objective. The pink tail is here. So we have the legend sword, but no adamant. We have the pink tail, but no hook. So we're halfway there on a lot of these objectives all of a sudden.
Right, and we have 2 sparkles identified, so the next sparkle has a 1 in 3 chance of being another objective. Starman going to check out the item shop here, and here are Cure 3s and Lives, and more Star Veils.
Yeah,
really loaded overworld Baron shop.
Yeah, we talked about how, runners don't like going to every single shop to find their required goods. Well, Baron kind of has you covered. 2 of the safety items in one place, and then the Cure 3s just in case you do need to supplement your White Mage. Very generous shop.
Starman struck out on getting the pan from that check, will resign themselves and go up to Fabul.
Soleras, meanwhile, making the Ordeals play, although we don't have any party members who immediately benefit from this. There are 3 boss checks up here in addition to the key item. So, could be any of the 3 that give us another objective, or it could just include the D-Lunars as well. So, a lot of potential value in this Ordeals.
So both runners have a kind of interesting party so far. 2 big bruisers. We've got White Mage and Rosa, and then Edward, who has his uses, but no Spoon Flag on in the bracket stages.
Yeah, and we already know that Odin is out of the pool, so won't get a whole lot of mileage there. Can definitely be valuable against Golbez. Golbez is out of the pool as well. A Dark Knight fight has some good options, and even those D-Lunars, just to remove him from the field and only bring him back when it's nearly time to reflect the breath. So, it's still some good utility for him, but definitely not the powerhouse he is when the Spoon Flag is enabled.
Soleras going to keep him down for now and faces off against the Calamari man himself, Octoman.
Yeah, a boss that only punches at the Mylon spot with the lowest physical attack in the game. Oh, that's a gauntlet, isn't it? I saw that pause. I saw that pause.
So a gauntlet in the back attack spot, and this is obnoxious.
Very much so, just because everything gets the surprise attack. Now, Soleras' team has no concerns here. Nothing to worry about at all. There's no chance of him wiping here. It's just an annoying, slow situation to be in. But wisely, swaps out that Blizzard Spear for the weaker Flame Spear, because it'll do a multi-target fire too, which can very quickly mop up these zombie dance parties.
Yeah, most of these zombies are weak to fire up on Ordeals, so a very heads-up play from Soleras.
Yeah, and Infora in chat wisely pointing out, all those J items that we've been saving up, past this point in the game, you're not getting that much mileage out of them. This seems like the optimal place to burn them, free up your inventory space, get rid of those Stardust, get rid of, your Blizzards, your Fire Bombs, whatever you found, and make way for better gear down the road.
Now, souls were healed by fire, and a little bit of a trial by fire as Soleras discovers which enemies on Ordeals are weak to what.
I mean, still, using the Fire Spear, even if you know they're going to absorb it, it still took care of the other 2 zombies, so I think it was still the right play. But Starman, meanwhile, has chosen to eschew the Ordeals climb to go right to Dwarf Castle, and finds a whole bunch of orbs. Jump command's nice for this fight. That's about all that it has going for it.
It was playing with their iPad, and the iPad decided to rise up and fight against us. And this is why technology's bad.
Exactly. Yeah, so the power command will help a little bit with Yang here. He's still not back row glitch. The only way to back row glitch Yang in Free Enterprise is to sneak glitch a Charm Harp onto him, or play with some of the silly April Fool's flags. But this is just a battle of attrition. There's not actually a threat to Starman's team here, especially not with Rosa at this level being able to throw out the heals. It's just the issue of a time commitment. We got time commitments all over the seed.
I was going to say, you can't really get around a big time sink that seems unnecessary and could be in the back of both runners' minds, that they're wasting time here. I wonder what my opponent is doing if they're wasting time as well.
Yeah. Well, while we're going through these fights, Van Gopher in chat asks, what is the weak glitch? It's not the weak glitch, it's the sneak glitch. If Edge steals a weapon or shield in combat, and it is the first one of those in your inventory, and your next character's menu is already up, you can equip that no matter if you could normally equip it. So, vanilla game, a lot of us back in the day would use it to put like silver shields on Rydia for a little more defense. Ooh, a darkness crystal. But you can also use it to put harps on people, earth hammers on people, flame spears on people. And that's about it.
So Ordeal's the back attack really paying off. A lot of time to sink, but now Soleras has moon access.
Yeah, and that's one of those things that if Starman fades, which Starman doing Dwarf Castle now indicates kind of a willingness to fade that spot, and Iridia doesn't give much motivation for going there either, that's not a place you like to last location. And at the same time, you think, well, I faded it earlier, let me commit to Keyless Tower, let me go do these Fey March fights, I made my play and I'm going to stand by it. That is not the item you need to be there when you're standing by your gamble.
Unless the moon is completely haunted, and Starman does have that pass. We do have quite a foothold on a couple of other objectives, so it's possible that the moon isn't necessary, but if the moon is required at all, Starman could be behind.
Yeah. And I did accidentally say Keyless Tower. Our runners do have the tower key, so that's a very valid option,
Right.
regardless.
Having the tower key is the best way to run Keyless Tower. Yeah.
Ah, yes, the Vermilion Gambit.
Starman gets through that Karate Man in the second spot.
Yeah, unable to use the scripted kill where the Karate sets a flag during an invisible turn between the second sword swing and the second kick that lets Paladin Cecil one shot. But it's only 3,000 HP, gets through the fight pretty quickly regardless.
Doesn't an invisible flag kind of defeat the purpose of flags?
An invisible indicate. Look, I'm not a programmer. I just push buttons.
Starman gets a key item. It's just a package. It's a character check. It's a cheeky boss location. Starman does have a full party, but that might be worth a check to see if there's a better character. Fu would certainly be welcome in this party. Cecil, maybe?
Yeah, the Fu easily. And also I realize I don't think either of our racers have peaked that vanilla mist cave yet.
I don't believe so either. That's a Sid. Starman's thinking about it. But
yeah, Sid, definitely not worth the time investment, I think. I mean, he's probably doing more damage for your party than Edward or Rydia are. But yeah, I don't like sitting through 3 minutes of cutscenes for a Sid at this point.
You know, you need time to expand your cinematic vision. That's what I say.
But, it really is still funny to me that because of how long our runners have gone without peeking the Mist Cave, like, correct me if I'm wrong, Sheep, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but I don't think either one ever walked into that cave. And if D Lunars are just sitting there chilling out, or even if D Mist is sitting there chilling out getting a key item, it's a little funny. It's a little funny.
Yeah, it's Chekhov's Mist Cave for sure. Neither runner has peeked at it. One runner did peek the waterfall, so that's how we know that the Odin is there. But yeah, Mist Cave is there for the taking, and who knows? It could even be a boat.
And on the moon, Soleras finds Edge, which I believe we've seen full moon chakrams for sale in a shop, so there is decent weaponry. Now with access to the moon, Soleras has some pretty good fights to get some cash if he decides he needs it. But regardless, I think that Edge is a much better get than Rydia or Edward at this point in the seed.
Starman did see Sylph Summons for sale. Did not pick it up.
I think at this point in the seed with Rosa, probably having Cure 3 or close to it, I tend to prefer casting Virus with Rydia anyway. Yeah, it costs MP, yeah, it doesn't heal, but Self Summon is like a 3-parter. It's so slow.
It's so much fun to listen to.
Yeah.
Starman, going back down into the Feymarch, maybe going to tangle with the Feymarch bosses.
I believe he does have 2 extra coffins left over, so whether this is Baron Guards or Kaipo Guards, he's well equipped for it. As for the Pale Dim fight, you have one source of blink. You have a Dragoon who I believe has at least Dragoon Gauntlets equipped, so thus has Dragon Defense. Tiara is Dragon Defense. So there are ways through that fight, but it'd be pretty darn slow.
Soleras checking in on the king in the bathhouse.
And here's our Mist Cave peak. All right.
Baron Guards for Starman. He has 2 coffins. Playing with fire a little bit, gets 1 coffin off.
And curious, picking Edward up here.
That Edward immediately hides. Maybe a little safety.
Does get that coffin off in time before the rest of the team comes crumbling down. A little bit of XP.
Question in chat, does Dragon Defense, like on that Dragoon Gauntlet, work on the Mega Nuke from Wyvern?
Oh, no. It's only on physical attacks, not magical ones.
It's not just anything that comes from a dragon. It's like when the dragon actually touches you.
Yeah.
Really hard.
Yeah, same thing with mage defense. It's why Aegis shields and rune rings are so good against, say, Asura. And places where the Magus Sisters are punchy, it's pretty nice as well. Mad Ogres, but yeah.
Well, Starman... Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, one more time, doesn't do anything for magical attacks.
Starman gets to raise a glass. That glass hat is all they got for defeating the Baron Guards.
And now, did Starman reset after that to preserve the coffins? Or... Okay.
Starman kept that, I believe.
Yeah. I mean, one of the best pieces of defensive gear in the game, physical defense at least, doesn't do anything for magic defense or evade. Generally very strong in the early game. At this point, enemies get a little punchier to where you need a little bit to supplement it. But we do see Starman heading on into the sealed cave.
Very interesting play. One key item check back here, one boss check. Could be a quicker reset out of here if neither of those are things you actually need. He could be banking on a vanilla darkness crystal back here, which we know isn't the case, but we've certainly seen it enough.
Yeah. And Dakar and Chet, kind of surprised to see them avoiding tower. Same, and I would kind of think that's probably where Soleras is going to go after completing Dwarf Castle here. Might take a quick peek at the package character just to see if it's, say, a Fusoya, but I'm just as shocked that no one's gone for the double tower power play.
Yeah, two boss checks, 2 key item checks. You've got the tower key. There's no excuse. It's just a little bit of a climb.
Sealed Cave, though, yielding up a crystal armor. But there's a boss.
Boy.
There's a boss here. And you kind of are obligated to peek for the D-Miss or the D-Lunars.
Yes, there are two Ds that we need to look out for. And Starman wisely taking that peek.
Neither one. Big ol' Bubkus in the Sealed Cave today.
And going to reset completely out of it. The doors will remain on the table in case there's a really desperate grind option necessary. But Starman heading straight for that tower.
Yeah, this is a pretty logical check at this point for Starman. Has kind of committed to ignoring ordeals for the time being, and does not want anything to do with that Pale Dim and Feymarch. Kind of the last option on the table before, I would say, having to either do a whole bunch of grinding or accept your fate and going back to climb ordeals.
I tend to ignore ordeals in my own life, so I completely understand the play.
Soleras ditching the Eddy, gonna take the Rydia, probably just going to be taking on anchor duty for him. That level 1 Rydia, of course, just a dream anchor. You don't have to worry about finding a cursed ring anywhere. Base 4 agility. Anyone higher than agility 10 is going to be going super fast as the fastest bosses. So, great addition for this team.
And this Karate, a very nice boss in that regard, in that he will kick your entire party. That Rydia only has 30 HP, and that kick will do much more than that, so you don't even need to target her to get her down to keep her agility there.
Absolutely. Starman, meanwhile, finds the Pain Man at the top of the tower. Has the HP on this spot to not even have to do anything to get through. The only question is if you want to try to keep some extra characters alive for the 26,000 XP.
Yeah, and this is a spot where not worth it to try and take down DKC before he does 3 Dark Waves. But the attack power at the Luge spot here, not very big. Starman does have the HP to get through it. We'll see who he wants to get HP or XP here. Soleras gets his package. And chat pointing out that was a vanilla Rubicante. We already know where the elements are. So vanilla Rubicant in the hook route. We do not know who's at King Queen Evelyn.
Yeah, that's always one of the cheekier spots that your boss hunts can reside at. Just a very awkward check to have to make. But we do get a Twin Harp. That's an objective. That'll clear off number 2 when Starman makes his way there.
So the tower's got the goods.
Yep.
And we still have another check.
Yeah. And Soleras also resetting out of that Sid. Sid's utility in a team, like his 3 big things are huge HP pool. Well, Yang kind of takes care of that for us. Decent armor and equipment for doing damage. Kane kind of takes care of that for us. And low agility for anchoring in the long run. Soleras' level 1 Rydia takes care of that. So all his uses are really counterfeited by the team Soleras already has going.
Starman peeks inside the cannon room, finds vanilla Dark Imps.
And there we finally see some J items getting used. Get these things out of your inventory, unclog things. We're going to get an Earth Crystal, and everyone's going to be like, oh, why do I still have Stardusts? If Starman does go ordeals, I would wager that they throw out a whole bunch of those to clear out those back attack gauntlet enemies.
Sure. Starman did use the big bomb against the Dark Imps. I thought Sid used the big bomb when getting out of the tower.
And Yang gets blown up by the big bomb that was set in the cannon control room, or I never really understood what Yang was doing in that cutscene. Like, is he just punching all the machinery to try to make it explode so it doesn't fire on the dwarves? Does he, tank the blast himself and thus gets launched all the way to Sylph Cave? Like, what exactly happens in the actual cutscene?
He was being a hero.
Just hero stuff. Yeah, Soleras has another enemy here that's like, oh, you mean I don't have to knock this Rydia down myself? Thank you so much. All the enemies being so generous in this regard.
It's like they also have impetus for making Rydia an agility anchor. There's an adamant, and Starman is 1 item away from go mode.
Yeah, but Soleras is hot on his heels with a better team, and here's the thing. Uh, at this point, it's very likely, it's not guaranteed, it's very likely that the moon will be somehow required, which means Starman still has to sit through that alt gauntlet, which Soleras already knocked out. So, Starman's about to be ahead on objectives, but the question is how long that lead will last.
Not a very inspiring Coco shop there. Life Staffs, Protect Rings, Murasames, and Leviathan Summon. All four of those things are useful, but not at that price for this party.
Oh yeah, that's the thing about the Kakul shop here on the LHL brackets flags. If you, I would go down. I would be very precise here. If you do not have sirens plus hourglasses plus an easy way to kill gold dragons, you're probably not buying a whole lot of stuff from Kakul in any of these seats.
Starman takes that Twin Harp and is going to go immediately to Cape Magnus. Damn those harps in chat.
Cubs Rule pointing out the Pink Puff grind option. Yes, that is true. That is true. Pink Puffs also give a ton of cash, but the setup for that I think is even harder to pull off, and pull off well, than a Gold Dragon grind. But I'm sure some wild runner will feel compelled to do it on one of these seats, if only to become a legend. So there's another awkward thing going on here, by the way, Sheep, looking at Starman's key items.
I count 8 of them.
Yeah, so let's just say that Starman does get just D-Lunars right here. D-Lunars and the Twin Harp combine. Boom, you get your Go mode, you get your Crystal, you're at 9 key items. And you do have access to an Egg grind and a Door grind, but you're not getting the XP that you'd get otherwise. Do you go up Ordeals and hope to spike a 10th key item? Do you... I don't think you go back to the Pale Dim fight. I don't think that's on the table at all.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. 8 key items is kind of the worst because you need 2 key item checks. Ordeals isn't going to get it for you unless there's a rogue T-Mist up there, which Starman can't rule out. But
oh well, the Crystal would be number 9.
Correct. Yeah, you're
in
right.
that specific situation. Yeah.
Yeah. So he'd get 10, but would it be worth it to sit through that back attack gauntlet? Anyway, let's ponder that while Eddie plays us some tunes.
Agreed.
That was Flight from Xenogears. Very lovely harp rendition. And Vavalis at this spot could be a little tricky, but Starman has the levels to take care of it. And there's a Vanilla Earth Crystal.
Yeah, so we now have access to the treasury, along with 2 more boss checks and 2 more character checks. We've not seen Cecil, we've not seen Fu, we've not seen Tella. Now, of course, there's only 10 characters in the pool on this flag set. So, just wondering who all we could actually find up there. Not seen either of the twins yet. Could be doing their best Pugsley and Wednesday impressions up there with the death chair. Do you think we're going to see a rating of the treasury by Starman here?
I'd be surprised, but heading up there and going to make that turn.
Well, pay attention, chat. Let's rate this treasury, see what goodies are in there while we get a reprise of that Xenogears music. See y'all in a second.
Soleras also threw, and that was a really interesting treasury. A couple power shirts and a dragon whip. That Rydia, she can start hitting stuff now.
Oh yeah, the Dragon Whip having that Time Sword versus Dragons means that Rydia is just the prime character on this team to take care of any further egg grinding you do. If Starman is extra dedicated to killing that Pill Dim before going up ordeals, that's a heck of a way to do it right there. Rydia can definitely do work, but we have a Lunar Sparkle here. Have we found our D-Lunars?
We have not yet, and we won't now. That's a blarg.
That's all 4 of the other Lunar Sparkles taken care of.
Oh, we haven't seen Ogo yet.
Oh, I know how to count, I swear.
But yeah, now that both Starman and Soleras have completed our second objective, Cave Magnus, they only need 1 more. Soleras also going to check that treasury.
Now, Soleras is kind of committed to keeping this Rydia on the ground, so I don't think we're going to get to see his Rydia hitting things. Starman's has a few levels. We'll see if Starman ends up changing their mind over this. But, yeah, I mean, you get the Power Shirt and the Dragon Whip. I think the Seed is speaking to you. It's telling you.
Let Rydia hit things.
Yep. Gatornator asking in chat, they find any curse rings yet? Not yet. None in loot, and very few, if any, ungated armor shops have been checked.
Or even gated armor shops. I've seen Dwarf Castle armor shop, and that's about it. Hello, Fu.
Hi, Fu. That's a nice character to find.
It really is. Especially with the amount of bosses each runner is taken care of already. That Fu should be close to full power. And the mob leads us to duplicate Rosa. No dupes in these flags, so we don't even get a chance to make one into dedicated white mage and one into a power archer. But it is another example of vanilla by our restreamer Cubs Rule 21. Trying to get a reputation.
And of course, Sineki eliminating quite a bit of that Fu starting power. This one coming equipped with only a single staff and nothing else. It's a Gaia Hat and a Sork Rogue for a little bit of stat bonuses to his black magic. But other than that...
Are you denigrating the staff?
Look, sometimes you just have to have Staff Appreciation Day. I understand.
Starman
But in chat. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say Starman did this that Eddie for that Fu. The Fu's not quite at full power, needs a couple more bosses to get there.
Yeah. And Pepita in chat guessing that Soleras' team advantage got nullified. Yeah, maybe. There's one big notable thing here, and that's that level 1 Rydia. I think that may end up being a bigger deal than we're giving credit for. I'm not sure what Rydia's agility is on Starman's side, but it's hard to overvalue having an entire team at RA1, especially if the moon's going to end up being somewhat required here.
And the wall comes crumbling down, and the wall comes rumbling. Starman through the Tower of Zot.
There's the nuke on the Fu. Without J-Spells being enabled, he will have all of them at one boss fight short of max HP. But Soleras having some difficulty here with this Wyvern. Didn't quite get the team back up and rolling like Starman did on his side. And gonna have to take a quick reset here.
There was a comment in chat to the effect that Rydia's low agility actually a little bit of an issue here.
It's true, this is a relatively slow spot, and actually having that faster Rydia was good in this situation.
Starman picked up the pan and is immediately going to check for those 2 key items. If this pan ends up being a hook, this could be a little bit of a costly way for Soleras. Has to reset again.
Yeah, there we go. Putting a speedy anchor in the middle. Gonna have a much easier time at this guy.
There's an oxymoron for you. Speedy anchor.
And the little fairy friends, after you play Whack-a-Monk, are yielding up the... Good stat stick for your Fu.
Yeah, certainly better than a staff for that Fu. But probably not what Starman was looking for there.
There we go. Soleras taking down that Wyvern much more readily this time. Gatornator asking in chat, why is a speedier anchor good here at this spot? It's because this spot has a very low base agility. So if you have a speedy anchor, your entire team will be outpacing it. Whereas if you have a very slow anchor, your team and it will both be going at full speed.
Yeah, and Tower of Zot fits on the overworld for the general rule of thumb that for the overworld you want your quickest party member to set your agility, and in the underworld you want your slowest.
Sheila 2 here, giving just... Well, I mean... Actually, is it even possible for Cecil to be in this seat at this point? Can we go over the 10? How many characters have we seen?
So, we haven't seen Tella, we haven't seen either of the twins, we haven't seen Cecil.
Okay, so we're still missing 2 characters from the pool, so there's a decent chance he pops up at Baron Castle or down a hook route. But I'm not sure either of our runners... If we had a Crystal Sword, maybe, but I feel like an X-Cal might not be enough to take a Cecil this late in the game.
Yeah, especially since there's no way to slingshot the Cecil on these flags, so would be starting off at level 1 after Starman climbs the mountain.
And Soleras does ditches Edge here, and honestly, it kind of makes sense with this team. The best things I think we've seen for Cell, I mean, we did see Murasames in the Kakol shop, not affording those. Full Moons are reasonable for Cell and Dwarf Castle, but we have decent weaponry for Kayn. Yang doesn't even need weapons. He just needs levels. We have Rosa as the full-powered white mage spot. We have Rydia as the anchor. Edge was the logical character to ditch here. I completely agree with it.
So both runners back to the same party here at this stage, getting there in a very different way. But I guess quality is going to win out.
Starman's team here is going to be a little better equipped than Soleras' was for dealing with the back attack gauntlet. Soleras, of course, doing a lot of flame spear strats to mop up the zombie dance party. Starman has a Fu in the top slot. Oh, but he's not quite fast enough to beat Kayn to the punch. Interesting.
And gonna decide to hold on to those J items. Saving them for a rainy day.
Saving them for the next race, maybe? Can I just start with these next time? Is that okay?
Yeah, for Game 3. Which, as a reminder, Starman is 1-0. This is Game 2. If Starman wins, they're through automatically to the round of 8 to face the 15th seed X Pancraz. If Soleras wins, we force a Game 3.
Soleras here gonna... Okay, go ahead.
Going to check that pan. Did want to thank our restreamer Cubs Rural 21 and our tracker Awaken Smoke for doing the behind the scenes stuff. They've been doing a tremendous job keeping us honest, and in Cubs' case, for serving up some delicious vanilla, which is a flavor.
Huge shout out to the entire crew. So here's my question, Sheep. If you are Soleras, where are you going after you finish off this next chat? I will note, Soleras is rocking 10 key items at this point.
That's true. Soleras has not checked either of the Baymarch bosses. He doesn't know that that a glass hat awaits behind the Baron Guards. With this party, I would be heading down there to just take out that Pale Dim after taking on the free boss at the Baron Guards or Kaipo Guards. He doesn't know which they are yet.
I think if I were in his shoes, I think it's time to just face check bosses. Maybe pop a Siren or two on the moon to get a few levels, but I'm ready to just peek and reset, peek and reset. All I care about now is that number 5 defeat D-Lunars. Forget everything else. Maybe if you run into like a very free boss on the moon, you kill it in hopes that it gives you a hook, but I'm all about the face checks at this point.
The only issue with that I see is there are just too many boss spots still outstanding that face checks could miss. There are 2 bosses on the Giant. There's one in the package spot. There's one along the hook route. To me, I would want just a little bit more certainty before doing that. But that's why I only got 3 points in the Swiss rounds.
Oh, well, I mean, for what it's worth, that is a perfectly valid strategy. And just, again, given the number of bosses that still remain gated, very reasonable. But I'm also trying to think about the mindset of being a game down. The fact that, if you don't win this match, you are going home. And to what degree do you think, no, I can just play my normal game, game 1 was a fluke, I've got this, I'm not worried, versus I may need to take a chance or two here.
Soleras did not check the sealed cave. Doing that now will likely reset out of it disappointed.
Yeah, a crystal armor and a mom bomb are all that awaits him down here.
Doesn't need the EXP that bad. Mom bomb annoying no matter where you face her, and here especially so.
Starman, meanwhile, has at long last completed ordeals, been awarded a Darkness Crystal. Only remaining things that Starman has not checked on the blue planet are whatever lies behind that Pale Dim fight, and the package boss. And Starman didn't actually go inside Mist Cave yet either. Something tells me we're about to see a trip to the moon.
Yeah, I was saying that the face checks don't guarantee that you're going to find those D-Lunars because of how many outstanding checks there are, but just the one-off checks are not a guarantee of anything either, so the moon definitely has the biggest density of key item checks and boss checks. Starman is heading straight there.
I'm wondering, too, what Starman's mindset is right now. Finding the Darkness Crystal up on Ordeals, a check that many runners do relatively early in the game. I wonder what's going through his head right now. Thinking, oh no, my opponent's probably full cleared the moon. If my boss is up there or the hook, I may be in trouble. Because, again, everything else, the cane was readily available on Hobbs. Objectives 1 and 2 were both available by doing that relatively benign tower key combo with the Lugay spot. So I would not be surprised if there's a little bit of panic in Starman's head right now.
And so both heading to the moon, both have basically the same party. Soleras has already checked the character up here, the edge on the moon. Starman has not, so has to sit through that particular cutscene. So Soleras in a little bit of an advantage here, but it's all going to depend on their routing up here and whether they get lucky.
Slamain in chat asking the odds of Vanilla D Lunars. Well, at this point, we'd have to count the number of bosses we've seen, the number of spots available, do a little calculation, and I'm not doing that. So we'll say it's 50-50. They're either there or they're not.
Calbrena in Cave Value, and Soleras is going straight for the dolls.
Yeah, Fu should be able to handle this fight pretty easily. If Quake doesn't get this all on its own, then Meteo certainly would. And hey, these J items finally getting thrown dish out a little bit of bonus damage, because those cows are still standing.
Yeah, and that could be a little bit dangerous, but this... Oh, not quite. Cleans it up nicely. He had it all the way. All the way.
Oh yeah, nothing to panic about there.
Never doubted him for a second. Did put some EXP on that Rydia, though.
But with the reward of a ribbon, yeah, you can just reset out of that.
Yeah.
If this were a full XP spot, maybe you start to consider it. But the Bahamut spot, even at full XP, isn't a whole lot. It's not like the Wyvern, the Pale Dim, the D-Lunars, the Ogopogo spots, which all give, over 6 figures.
Starman, following in Soleras' footsteps, also decides to play with the dolls. Just like Dark Helmet.
So this is very much neck and neck at this point. The only difference in the completed checks is that Starman did fight the Baron Guards in the Fey March, received a glass hat for the trouble. So one notable thing this means is that after our runners full clear the moon, if somehow they're still not in go mode, Soleras will have a lot more reason to go to Fey March than Starman does at this point.
Very much so. And Soleras going top down. Finds Mylon Z not face checking, going to actually try these bosses out.
I don't mind this at all. I think that if the boss is relatively free, not going to be an exceedingly large time sink, not going to, mop the floor with you, I think this is great. Take the time, clear the relevant. I mean, clear bosses like this. If this were, I mean, I know there's some of the ones you've already seen, but if this were Baigen, if this were Magus Sisters, if this were Golbez, reset out of those. But Mylon Z, I think, fairly innocuous here. The big problem is, I would say, is that Yang has an Ice Claw here and is thus only doing half damage.
Yeah, we know Fire Claws have been available. Either in a chest somewhere, and they might have even been for sale in Dwarf Castle. Starman encountered the big doll, decided to set out and run away. Won't actually hurt them all that much because that Calbrena only had a ribbon. Might have actually saved a little bit of time by transforming into the big doll.
Yeah, peeking that Rydia agility, can't be comfortable with what he sees there.
No, that Rydia a little bit too high for comfort. We'll see how he decides to handle it. Not going top down, instead probably going to go to the greatest density to that ribbon room in the White Spear Altar.
Soleras, meanwhile, gaining a whole stack of levels and a Sand Ruby. Do not anticipate that gets turned in, but I don't anticipate a reset here either. Gain 4 to 5 levels on basically the entire crew. So where do you want D-Lunars to be this seed, Sheep?
I mean, is the CPU spot just too cliche at this point? Or package spot?
It's valid, although if it is at the CPU spot, I don't think we'll see it. I think we'll see runners opt to chase the, try to hunt down that hook for the pink tail instead. But I don't know, maybe the hook's behind someone that just neither team here wants to deal with.
Yeah, we haven't seen Kainatsu yet. There are still some really rude bosses. We haven't seen Baigen.
Oh, chat pointing out that D-Mist has not been seen. D-Mist could have the hook. Okay, fine. Yeah. This is the most evil. It may be cliche, but D-Mist at Elements with the hook.
Yes.
And then D-Lunars at CPU. There we go.
There we go.
To force the giant play.
Speaking of free fights, Kaipo Officer Soldier up on the moon.
With a double life lich. Oh baby, that's some XP. If this is the D-Lunar spot, you said, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's gonna be about 290,000 XP. That'll get your levels going. Watch out for that Rydia though. Oh, okay, Rydia's got Rydia covered.
Rydia knows what to do. But we're living that Fu life. Fu misses the stone cast.
Yeah, sometimes you'll whiff that even from the middle slot with the accuracy bonus, let alone from, any of the other 4.
I thought Fu was supposed to be not Tella. I thought that was Fu's kind of bread and butter.
Yeah, I mean, he's the new Tella. Have him on a crepe, a little powdered sugar, maybe some strawberries. It's delicious.
Meet the new Tella. Same as the old Tella. Soleras checking out the White Spear Altar first. That is a rude
boss. Yeah, that's the kind you don't want to do. Like, we're good. We're good. That one, I'm not gonna worry about it.
No. No, whatever's behind there can stay there. Starman through. There's that Baron key. Now, do you play fetch with this?
I think you gotta at least face check the remaining 2 bosses down here in the subterrane. Just in case it's, a D-Mist or a D-Lunars at any of them.
Yeah, the Baron key does give access to 3 more boss checks, although we know one of them is Leviathan. Also, 2 key item checks, but it is a long way down. And Starman's gonna hang in there for a second against this antlion.
After
but
the
not
second,
much longer.
the second punch comes out, turn like, no, I'm good.
Soleras gets that stone luck.
Yeah, but did not get the double life glitch, so not quite the XP influx that Starman got. Very comparable, though. Neither one of these runners at this point can possibly have any Zeromus worries, I would say. Well, Starman maybe, with that Rydia agility. But both teams just looking very strong, very, very ready to roll.
Now, if Soleras was feeling behind and really wanted to take a chance, that Baron Key might be something that Soleras might chase.
Dark Elf down here is shockingly rude. I think this trio of spells does a little more damage than you... Never mind. This spot has such high magic attack. I feel so bad for Dark Elf. Like, this is one of the highest spell power spots in the game. Like, Rubicante's Fire 2 counters do like 600 damage. Dark Elf, step it up, man.
Yeah. Yeah, Dark Elf, a lot of the times has a worse bark than bite, especially at this spot. Me attack you for less than 200 a pop.
Yeah. Of course, the nicest thing about Dark Elf is that after the transformation, you can stop it or weak it. It has a few status immunities, but no boss bit. So you still get to cheese the back half of the fight. But whispering at Rosa just at the right time to negate her burst cast. Probably the most annoying part of this fight.
Soleras checked that Dark Elf, decided not right now. Gonna go check that Wyvern spot.
I like leaving a save on the moon and going back for that Baron Key myself. Or, you know, you just enter go mode. One or the other.
D-Lunars, hot desking it up on the moon, just switching offices, and Soleras is in go mode.
Has to take this fight down. The punches are severe. The funny thing is the viruses here are kind of piddly. There's something to be said for just taking a manual swing here and getting them out of their standard stroke.
Yeah, this spot has surprisingly weak magic. It's kind of a joke, actually, the magic stat in the Wyvern spot, but Soleras not taking any chances.
Yeah, appears to be setting up maybe to do Lunar Frog strats, which is also completely valid here. No problem with that.
And Starman got a hook.
There's another go mode. Which go mode do you like better here? The question.
Starman actually might get something useful out of that pink tail, and both runners have the pass, so there's no issue there. This is going to come right down to the wire.
So, notably though, even though that Soleras could swag walk to Zeromus from here, with the pass, it is actually, I believe, folks in the community have timed it. It's still faster to go back to the blue planet and take the pass door. It's basically kind of like even Stevens from the Plague or the Deep Lunar spots. It's faster to swag walk from the Yogo Pogo spot, but from here, flying back I think is always faster.
I believe so as well. The hook bringing Starman back to the blue planet. I believe Starman has already got activated that hovercraft. He has. Soleras dealing with the inventory boss one final time. And Starman going to check the Avalanche shop. 2 tier 5 items guaranteed in this item shop.
Yeah, no need to grind anymore, but Bacchus one would be very handy here.
Yeah, we haven't seen those. Also haven't seen hourglasses, I believe, and they're both there. Picks up a 6-pack of wine, actually a 10-pack of wine, but George Thorogood didn't sing about a 10-pack of wine.
Oh, this is cute. Starman's going to run down here and check for, I'm guessing, a Palom or a Porum or a Tella. Any of those 3 is an improvement over his current Rydia anchor.
Yeah, that Rydia has a few too many levels. A base level, uh, like you said, Tela or a Twin would certainly be an improvement. If it's a dupe, this could put him further behind. It's a Sid.
That actually works too.
That'll work.
So still two mystery characters somewhere out in the seed. One must be in the Giant, the other one must be behind that Sand Ruby or that Baron Key. Well, pardon me, those are 3 spots, so our 2 mystery characters are behind some subset of those spots. And Soleras here is doing the walk down the Lunar Core, giving us a little taste of that really nice music. Soleras is going to be the first one into the fight at this rate. Starman still has to turn in that pink tail.
Yeah, Soleras going to have a few minute advantage here, maybe 2 minutes or so. But yeah, we're getting close to the big fight at the end. You can't move Zeromus out of this spot, but we do give him a makeover. And so, Invenerable, I'd be honored if you would do the honors.
Okay. Yeah. So, there are a lot of Zeroma sprites. You know we change them up. Which one's it going to be today? I don't know. But we gotta ask.
We do.
Is this Patootie that of a cutie?
Who's behind? Are we gonna find?
Ooh, Starman getting a bonus Avenger. Maybe regretting the detour to buy Bacchus one now.
Yeah. That was why I liked that hook a little bit better than defeating the V-Lunars. That Avenger, nice on that cane. But Starman needs to step on it.
Ooh, I know this one.
Ooh.
This is Rimsala, the evil empress from a Super Nintendo RPG called Arcana. Her boss theme is actually in the Twin Heart pull, and it is amazing. Cute little RPG, very much first-person dungeon crawler for the vast majority of it. I enjoyed it, and it's one of those little, like, not very often seen SNES games that if you like RPGs, you should give it a try sometime, if you can get your hands on a copy.
Very nice. I'll just head down to my local video store and rent one. That counter nuke went right onto that Rosa. A little bit unfortunate. Rosa's HP not the greatest. 2044 should be enough to take care of most big bangs, but it's not a guarantee.
And that's one small advantage that Starman got, just getting that life glitch off on the officers fight, getting 290,000 instead of 200,000, and bumping that Rosa up to 2,200 HP instead of that 2,000 could be a difference maker here.
Soleras did nerf that first big bag from Soleras.
By the way, I want to say I love it when one of the sprites is so huge vertically that the damage numbers appear on the menu box in the bottom, bottom 30% of the bottom 40% of the screen. The huge sprites always make me happy.
Yeah, there's too much final boss to contain.
Meanwhile, Starman has entered the fight a little behind, drinking wine out the gate, gets the Zerkers going a little bit faster here.
Yeah, Starman about 2 minutes behind.
And even started the fight with the Avenger on Kane. I like that play as well. As long as you have the Avenger wearer in the right slot on your team and you know your agility setup, you don't have to worry about them getting frozen up at the start of the fight. And having the plus 10 strength, the plus 10 agility, the auto Zerk start to finish in the fight, very nice use of the Avenger there.
Starman gets the counter nuke on Sid, not the worst thing.
Oh no, that's basically exactly where you want it.
Yeah, Starman hadn't set up Starveil yet, so the perfect target.
So comparing the teams here, the Yangs appear to be the exact same level here, only a 5 max HP difference there. The Canes... Starman's has a pretty decent level advantage here, about 300 HP more, and of course we already contrasted the Rosas. So Soleras has a big advantage coming into this fight. We're going to have to see if that Avenger is enough to make up the difference here.
Soleras got a fairly generous roll on that Big Bang. Rosa only took about 1,400 damage, was able to Cure 3 up everyone. So, Starman's Foo with that Charm Rod, I believe, his nukes are doing quite a bit more damage than Soleras's. And Rosa getting in on the action as well, throwing Whites out. Gonna be close.
Very close. It's kind of curious, because White is one of the slower spells here. It does do like the full animation on both sides, but sometimes it will tip at just the key point where you don't have to face down a Big Bang Meteor combo. Sometimes it's just what you need to force a refill. For folks out there who count the HP and know exactly how much they're doing per round in Zeroma's fights, that can be a huge deal. That's, again, too much math for me. It either happens or it doesn't, right?
Right. 50-50 chance.
But you do love to see a big ol' 7350 hit from a Holy Spell come in. And a 4,000 damage crit. Starts facing down a Big Bang. Rosa shrugging it off. Yet another unnerfed Big Bang. You love to see it.
That's 2 unnerfed Big Bangs that Soleras has had 4 characters stay up for. Very nice.
Ooh, and paying attention to his consumables as well, breaking out the elixir stash. I knew we had seen a couple of those this seed, and you know, they so frequently go unused. I love to see them actually being utilized at this Zeroma's fight.
The Ribbon Room chest right next to that Baron key, there was 1 elixir there. You know, you can't take them with you. This is super close. And Rock's on Starman's side.
Rock's on Soleras' side.
Oh my goodness. That Avenger Kane still doing work.
And there is a flash on Starman's side, followed by a crumble on Soleras' side. Get out a double smattering of GG's in chat. But I think we're about to be joined by... There we go. Hey, Scala, what you got to tell us? I think you may be muted on your hardware end.
Nope, I'm not. I was waiting for a good time to say hello. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
It's Scala. Hi. So, you all know why I'm here. I am doing the admin review to go through and retime all of this while Sheep and Inven will be interviewing our runners. So hopefully by the time we have we're all wrapped up with the interview, we will have an official ruling on what is happening here and whether or not there's going to have to be more matches. For folks who don't know, now that we're in the bracket stage, this is our first sort of tie of the bracket stage. If this is indeed a true tie, they have to re-race. There is no more points or anything like that, so give me a few minutes to go through, do some official retiming, but I'll be back in a little bit with the official ruling.
Sounds good. Thank you, Scala. In the meantime, well, Soleras is with us, and no sign of Starman yet, but Soleras, GG's, what a race. Do you mind telling us your strategy regarding whether to towards the end there, you needed either a hook or a D-lunar for go mode. What led you to choose whether to take a boss or just to face check a boss? What was your logic going through that moon in the final quarter of that seed or so?
Hi, thank you. Also, wow. If it was fast, I was going to take it. If it wasn't fast, like incredibly fast, like free or Mylan said, I had the flame spear. Quote unquote fast, I guess. And I needed like a little bit of experience, so basically, yeah, my mindset was if it was free or quick or worth a lot of experience, I'd take it. Otherwise, I just wanted to face check for bosses. That's what I was going to do first. If the Crystal Sword Altar didn't have it, I was actually going to do a thing where I left. And it would have been wrong, but I would have left to... There are 3 more bosses there. I guess 2 more. We knew the first boss.
Gotcha. And Starman, big thing in your gameplay here was fading ordeals for the longest time. What was going through your mind after you did finally clear it and were awarded that Darkness Crystal? Like, what was going through your head? What was your plan of attack at that point?
At that point, I was just like cursing putting it off for that long. Because normally you don't fade ordeals that long with like especially with like a boss objective on the menu.
Okay, and so you were cursing yourself, but how did that change your game plan when you got to the moon? Like, what was your attitude approaching it at that point?
At that point, I was just hoping for like a extremely free boss at the Ribbon Altar for a quick grind and to go down and just take the quicker fights. I was not going to take that Antlion under any circumstances because I didn't want to.
Antlion has kind of been the boss, I swear, this entire bracket stage. Everyone sees the Antlion. No, thank you.
I don't wanna.
Yeah, pretty much.
Soleras. The Antlion's always on the moon. Soleras, your party situation was pretty good throughout the entire run, and with your Rydia at level 1, you kept her there really well. The one place where it kind of backfired on you was in the Tower of Zot with that Wyvern. What were you thinking after that tower?
Oh, I know that spot's slow at Maga Sisters. I just didn't realize how slow. I should have realized the first time because I actually did the run buffering correctly and I only got 1 veil off. I should have realized from that the agility was so slow for Wyvern that being with a slow anchor wasn't going to work for me. So when I did it a second time, saw what happened, I was like, oh, okay, I just need a fast anchor. It was annoying, but it's one of those like, well, it happened, so... oh well.
And
Go ahead, Starman.
I may have like dunked my anchor situation into the trash for most, let's say, just like trying to get warp on Rydia for like sealed cave, which turned out to be nothing.
I was wondering about how the levels on the Rydia played out for you, because you did have warp for sealed cave, but then that also we saw you peak your Rydia's agility at a couple times as well. I think when you were heading down into the lunar core. How did that change your game plan for the end? Did you have ideas on how to handle Zeromus if first you came across the D-Lunars? Like, what were you thinking of how to remedy that situation for the end game?
If I had not bothered going for warp, I would have been able to go straight over to pick up that Avenger and go straight to Zeromus. So that was a mistake. I would not have had to stop to go looking for that Sid.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
Where
that's
was
it.
Sid?
First Sid was at Package. Second Sid was at Hook.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, and of course the Evelyn shop had both the Bacchus wines and the hourglasses that I'm sure you both would have liked to have had far earlier this seed.
Yeah, the hourglasses particularly would have been very handy, but and then the Bacchus later. I mean, also, like, I don't think anything that seed, like, it was pretty straightforward, to be honest, like, how it played out. Even though my gear was just, like, a Blizzard Spear, an Ice Claw, and a Dream.
I mean, that's all Yang really needs, right?
Yep.
Well, do
Yeah.
either of you two have any? Oh, Sheep, did you have a question?
I was going to say, after a really rude Golbez to start with, it was the seat did kind of open up. What was both of your real impressions of how you were making progress throughout the entire thing?
For me, it felt so linear. Like, we got Magma Key from Antlion. We had a good party. There were coffin availables. It was easy enough to take an egg and then go. Like, I just felt like everything I was doing, Starman probably also did. Minus, like, maybe something got faded. I didn't think about Ordeal specifically getting faded, but my main mindset was, given what I'm seeing, I think we're doing the same things. I just have to hope I'm doing it faster.
My main regret was going back down to Fey March now that I think about it. And then remind me, what should you never do?
You should always fade march the Fail March, right?
Correct.
I
I was
hate
like-
that place.
But I got lured in by, like, free easy boss with coffins.
That was kind of a curious thing, though, because of how early y'all did get access to it, but with no means of agility anchoring. That, like Soleras, you already had coffins at that point, but I think I'm completely correct to not even face check that boss, because with the agility setup on your starting Yang, Rosa, and Kane, just entering that fight, you're just gonna get your head knocked off immediately, no matter which of the two quote unquote freebies it is, you know?
Yeah, I was worried if it was, yeah, I'd either lose a coffin user, or if it was actually kind of worse if it was officer soldiers. Yeah, I can kill the officer, but then I have to spend forever trying to kill the rest of them. Then again, I guess I had Medusa arrows, that might have been okay, but oh well.
Well, do either of you two have any further thoughts while we're still awaiting this official administrative retiming?
Not really.
I'll say that tying or nearly tying, however it ends up coming out, makes you really think about every single choice that you made. So that's wow.
Yeah,
I mean,
nothing
it was
like
fun.
nothing
I wanted
like
the game too. I don't know if I wanted it this way, but I accept.
Yeah, Sheep, you're saying nothing like what?
a really, really close finish to make you analyze every single step that you possibly made.
Yeah, definitely. It was fun though.
Well, it was a really fun race watching you, and as we continue to see what's going on, did want to say if there is a tie and if there is another race going to happen, what do you think you're going to change about your game from this?
I'm not sure right now. Just beware the Fey March.
I think I'd have to look over this race to make a decision on that. I'm not sure either yet.
It's a really great race to watch again, by the way. Shoutouts to both of our runners. Reminder that if you're not following them, get yourself together, chat. Come on. But it was really just delightful because there was a lot of divergence throughout the entire middle part of that seed, and then you both came right back together, both assaulting the moon at basically the exact same time. Just very thrilling, and then both of you getting go mode right back to back to back. Just very
ways.
exciting to watch.
Okay.
Yeah, believe us. You'll enjoy it.
Hello.
Hello, Scala.
Hopefully, I'm not interrupting everything.
No, I don't think my heart can take another race that close.
I don't think any of our hearts can. So, chat, I'm going to explain what happened and rules and all that good admin stuff. So, first of all, I didn't say this earlier, and I should have said this earlier. A tie for free enterprise is a difference of 3 seconds. When we get this close, we have an admin go in, usually it's me, and we retime everything based on the runner's VODs, based on the timestamps there. This way, we basically take out all of the having to dot done and all that kind of stuff. We're basing it completely on the video itself. So for Starman, your start time on your VOD was 56 minutes, 41 seconds. Your finish time was 2 hours, 21 minutes, 30 seconds. This means that your actual runtime was 1 hour, 24 minutes, 49 seconds. For Soleras, your start time on your video was 53 minutes, 38 seconds. The finish time was 2 hours, 18 minutes, 32 seconds. Your runtime was 1 hour, 24 minutes, 54 seconds. This means that the actual time difference between you two was 5 seconds, which is just outside the realm of a tie, which means that as far as all official retiming goes, Starman is the one who takes the win today.
Thank you, Scala, for...
Congratulations. Just so everyone knows, I did this about 3 or 4 times to be 100% sure of what happened. So, and Soleras, you ran an absolutely amazing race, and the fact that it came this close only just shows the amazing quality of a runner that both of you are, and how you've absolutely deserved to be here in the round of 16.
Well said, Scala.
Thank you for all you do, Scala.
I'm always happy to do it, but no more ties, everybody. We kept telling you about this.
And GG, Soleras.
GG's.
Well, with that information, Starman, you advance to the round of 8 to face X Pancraz, and I know you just got this news, but are you looking forward to that matchup? Are you anticipating a really good race like we are?
Yeah, I am, and it's just gonna get more difficult from here on out.
It sure will. X Pancraz, one of the best runners. You'll have your hands full, but as you've shown today, you are quite capable. So, GG's again. Soleras, it's a really tough way to go out, but you've had a whale of a tournament. What are you gonna take away from it?
I'll answer that, I think, later. I think anything I say right now is not in my favor. But GG's to Starman, and thank you so much to the Restream team. It is, of course, always appreciated. We love everything that you do for us. And thanks so much.
Yeah, and thanks so much for the wonderful run. It was really amazing to watch you not only today but throughout this tournament.
GG's to both our runners. Amazing race. Wonderful to be a part of it. We are about to close up shop and signal over to RPG Limit Break, where Game 3, the tiebreaker match between Aizen Tayama and Couch23 is going on, to see which of them will get to face off with Peasants OMFG in the round of 8. So we're going to signal over there, chat. A reminder, no spoilers on this race. There'll be people who want to watch the VOD, see just how close that finish was. But enjoy the rest of the races today. We got this one. There's one more tonight. Another Game 3 at 11 p.m. Eastern on Free Enterprise. So yeah, thanks for hanging out with us today. Sheep Launcher, great being on comms with you. Shoutouts to Cubs, Rule, and Awaken Smoke for doing all the background work. And Scala Kitty, thank you so much for all that you do for us. Sheep, last words before we send it on over.
This was an incredible race. I hope you enjoyed the race with Eisen and Couch, and for all of us here, so long.